Okay, so let's talk about classes. Classes are a way of logically grouping different parts of your code. So let's say you had a big program and you had to do a ton of different things. Maybe one part of the program was calculating something, another part was writing it to a file. You might not want to keep all of those different pieces of logic together in the same place. You might want to actually split calculating and writing to a file into different places. So classes allow you to do this. They allow you to split the logic of your code however you need. So let's start with a problem, right? Let's say we need to print out these square of hashes like this. What we could do is we could go to the main method here, which is in the main class. Main class can be named anything as long as it has the main method, it's fine. And we could write a for loop. System int I equals 0, I is less than 3, I plus plus, and then we could say system.out.println here, and we could put the string of 3 hashes, like so. And then maybe afterwards we'll also go system.out.println and just put an empty string, just so that if we print it out again, there's going to be a line between the boxes. So now if I press print, here we are, it works. And let's say I want to do it again. Well, I could just copy paste the code, right? I could do that again, but this is going to get very unmanageable very quickly if we want to print a bunch of them out. Let's say we wanted to print 5 of them out. This is going to get really hard. We could put in another for loop, but I mean, it's going to get convoluted very quickly. So one thing we could do is we could make a method, right? So we could go public static void, and we'll call this print square, like so. And we could put this code inside that method, and then we could call the print square method. If I press go now, we get the same result, and I could just copy paste print square again, and that's all great. We managed to do what we wanted to do. But maybe we want squares to be their own logical concept. We don't want the logic of printing our squares to be in the main class, because the main class needs to do something on a higher level with the squares. Maybe it needs to create a bunch of squares. Who knows? To solve this problem, to kind of get the logic of printing a square out of the main class, we can create another class. And to do so, you just go to your package, new class, and then you're going to call it whatever you want, and I'm going to call it square, right? So this class is now the recipe for a square. So now all I need to do is take that method out here. Let's get rid of that, and let's put it inside square. And you know what? Because I'm already in the square class, I'm just going to call it print. I could call it print square, but I'm just going to call it print because I think it's easier to understand. Also, what we're going to do is get rid of the static keyword. And I'm going to explain what that means in later videos, but for now, just get rid of the static keyword and put your method in square. So how do we now get access to that method? We've now encapsulated the method print inside the square class, but we want to be able to use it, right? So there's a special syntax in Java for creating what's called an object. And an object is basically one version of a class. So the square class defines what all squares are like, but we want to create an object which is one specific square. So this is how we do it. We write square, because square is our type, actually. We write a name for it. Let's call it my square. And then we say equals. And here's the important part. We use the new keyword. And the new keyword is going to use a class to create a specific object of that class for us, in this case a square. So we write the name of the class we're using, and then we just do this. And you'll know what those brackets mean in a later video. But for now, what we have done is we've created a very specific square called my square. Now, if we want to print the square like we did before, we just go my square. So we use the name of the object we created, dot print. And if I press play, we print the square. So let me call this something weird. I know that a bunch of things come up in the auto here, but I'm going to convince you that this is definitely my method. And the way to do so is to just give a random name. Let's call it print square yay. Now that I've named it like so, in the main class, I need to use the print square yay method. So the only reason I did that was to show you that this is definitely the way that I named it. If I press play, it works. And now if I use that again, we are now getting the same code executing, despite the fact that the method is no longer inside this class. It's instead inside the square class, which we have instantiated as an object. So that's all we're going to go over now, but the next few videos are going to be about classes, and as we start to clear things up, you're going to start to see the power that classes really have. So that's all for now. If you like these videos or want to see more student-made content, make sure to check out the TVM YouTube channel. That's all for now. I'll see you next time.